afternoon, everyone. I'm Isabel. I'm from Bitrace. We are a red tech company based in Hong Kong, providing compliance solutions to law enforcement, regulators, and Web3 enterprises. And today, I'm very excited to be here to share how we apply AI to better identify and prevent risks, ultimately enhancing the Web3 security. So let's start with a case that happened a few days ago. We received a victim's report stating that he had been stolen from a phishing scheme, and he found he had lost more than 400 million USDT. We immediately began our investigation. And here is our investigation graph, and we see that the address in the green tag is the victim's address, and he transferred 400 million US dollars to the suspect's address. And then the fund immediately split it into several transactions, and then going to the bridge and the OTC merchants. So when we received the reports, the suspects had already laundered all the stolen funds and then cashed out. So this is what we met in most situations. That is, by the time the victims reached out to us or reported to the law enforcement, we found that the stolen funds had already been moved and laundered. Due to the nature of the crypto, because the transactions are permissionless and funds can be transferred across borders 7/24 basis, so it's very hard to intercept the illicit funds. And so when a crime occurs, there is often a delay before the victim even realizes their loss. So it takes additional time for them to report it to law enforcement or seek help from the security firms like us. So that causes the more usage of crypto in the crime, and also a very low success rate of recovering losses. So therefore, from a crime management perspective, we believe that apart from the post-incident investigation and loss recovery, the most important thing is to do one step further, that is prevention and real-time detection. So this is where AI makes a huge difference. So you may ask, how can AI help in risk prevention and detection? First, we need to apply AI to the most fundamental thing, that is tagging. Apart from the most traditional tagging method, like the structured feature identification, we can identify a lot of address that belongs to exchange, DeFi protocol, and payment companies. But more importantly, we can use AI to do a step further, that is behavioral feature identification. This kind of address, actually, they lack the data, enough data sources, and they don't have a very regular data structure, but actually their activity reveals clues about their purpose. For example, whether they are doing OTC trading and escrow services or other business operations. And then the third and the most critical thing of AI is identifying behaviors that maybe have some risks. That is, like, we can use the AI to identify some criminal activities like fraud, black-green marketplace, drug trafficking, and money laundering. So let me share a case we worked on before. With limited data sources, we need to help the regulators to identify, to understand their local OTC markets and its risks. And this is what we did before. For example, we have a limited OTC address, and then we train our models, train our OTC service entity recognition model to identify more addresses that have this kind of business in the same region. And we also apply our money laundering identification model and to see whether which addresses carry some money laundering risks. So after all of this process, we can help regulators to better understand their OTC markets and to see if there is any money laundering risk in this market. To further discuss the different types of risk models, we use AI to identify fund flows across various risks. As shown in my slides, actually different criminal patterns have their specific address, structures, and fund flow characteristics. For example, the online gambling's very typical structure is like the graph just on the left. And here, and on the right is the black and gray marketplace typical address structure. That is a typical escrow services in the black and gray marketplace. Also, there are also very typical structures and fund flows in the drug trafficking, money laundering, tail number phishing. And here, this graph includes all the typical patterns of illicit fund transfers and money laundering that we currently encountered, from fund splitting and swap, bridge exchange, to the mixer, and also finally to the OTC merchants to cash out. So let's back to the case we discussed at the beginning. What if the victim, even before the victim realizes they are being scammed to contact us, we could use AI to identify the patterns in the middle that they are doing the money laundering. We could immediately notify the bridge or the OTC merchants. If that were possible, the chances of stopping the stolen funds would be significantly higher. So in conclusion, actually most security companies, what they do before and now is to do the post-incident tagging, just only base the fund flow direction like the picture on the right. And this is always post-incident. So I think the help to detect the real-time risk is very limited. That's why we've taken a step further. The second one, that is AI-driven fund flow tracing. We extract features from different set of risk addresses. We build specific AI models to scan addresses and transactions across the whole network. This allows us to identify potential on-chain criminal and on-chain crimes and risks in real time. And finally, as a red tech company, Bitrace applies AI across all the aspects of monitoring, from the database generation to the dynamic monitoring system. And also, we help regulators and law enforcement and also the enterprises to execute their AML and evaluate its effectiveness. And I believe that with the development of AI and the enrichment of database, we will be able to use AI in a more precise and efficient way and to manage on-chain risks in a better way in the future. And thanks, and that's all for my today's sharing, and thank you all for your time and attention.